Okay, looks like we are live, and I gotta send out. Let's see, notice on Twitter. Twitter, where's the Twitter birds? Tumblr. I don't do Tumblr. Twitter. No, that's not what it's called. Live. Come back. And other things. Tweet. All right, let's see if it went on there on the Twitters. All right, we're talking about. Okay, it showed up. Good enough. All right, so the reason for this silly little live stream is to welcome me back to YouTube. Okay, just checking some settings here. Set for public. I am streaming. Okay. So, a week ago, 1 week ago, I wake up and this YouTube channel's gone. It's not there. And basically, I was the message from YouTube was that okay, it says I'm streaming now. Okay, we're good. Just making sure. There's always some problems with this streaming stuff. Anyway, so I got notice that I was suspended and I could make an appeal, and the appeal could take weeks to find out. So I made the appeal, and it seemed like, I think it was like not even an hour later, bah, denied. You've been denied your appeal. Go away. Leave us alone. And here the big problem was, like, what am I appealing? What did I do? It didn't tell me what I did to get my channel suspended. So I think doing all the research, this is not an uncommon topic. It seems to happen a lot out there where, you might have done this, you might have done that, you might have done on any number of things in our panoply of regulations and other things. So, yeah, so anyway, my appeal denied, and then YouTube Flagger got involved, and this morning it was reinstated with no mention of why it was suspended. So I asked, and this is the answer I got about why it was suspended. You did nothing wrong. Wasn't your fault. We made a mistake. Okay, so I didn't make out too bad. I lost, I think, 6 or 7 subscribers that unsubscribed while the channel was down. I don't blame them. Why am I subscribed to this dead channel? All right, so not the worst thing that could happen. Lost the views, lost the momentum on one of the videos I just put up that was starting to, gain some traction. But that's not. I live with all that stuff. I got it back. I'm real grateful that I got it back. But I canceled an event I was going to go to last week because it was the decision I had to make. When I go to these events, there's traveling, there's expenses, etc. Sometimes hotel rooms. And if it's on my monetized, my one and only monetized channel, which was gone, I could actually, make it back with the views. But I didn't know what was happening with my channel. I didn't know it was a mistake and I would get it back. So I didn't go to that event. I couldn't justify the expenses. Summer months are pretty lean here. And so there you go. My channel was hurt like that. And an event I really wanted to go to. So a business decision was made to not go to that event. Anyway, so I got it back. I'm happy I got it back. So what I want to talk about here is, let me switch over so you could see what I want to talk about. Just got notice that Maajid Nawaz Wins Apology settlement from SPLC for anti-Muslim extremist tag. So if, in case, oh, okay, they explain it here. I don't have to fill you in. I'm going to read the article. So this is June 18th, Hemant Mehta on Pathos. Thank you for this article, Hemant. Nearly 2 years after the Southern Poverty Law Center wrongly put Maajid Nawaz on its controversial list of anti-Muslim extremists, the organization is apologizing for its mistake and paying a $3.375 million settlement to Nawaz and his organization, the Quilliam Foundation. Good work, Maajid. It also means Nawaz is no longer considered by the SPLC to be in the same category as people who actually want to eradicate Muslims. It's a remarkable turn of events. All it took was a year and a half of criticism from Nawaz, his allies, and people wondering why the SPLC was condemning a former Islamic terrorist now working to reform the extremists in the faith. SPLC President Richard Cohen issued a formal apology on the group's website as well as in a separate video, which I can't embed here, he says. The apology says, given our understanding of the views of Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam, it was our opinion at the time that a journalist manual field guide to anti-Muslim extremists was published, that their inclusion was warranted, but after getting a deeper understanding of their views and after hearing from others for whom we have great respect, we realized that we were simply wrong to have included Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam in the field guide in the first place. No, it sounds like social justice warriors and intersectional feminists got in there, and right now the atmosphere is such that if you're he's a Muslim, if you're even a Muslim or an ex-Muslim critical of Islam, critical of a religion, then you are the enemy. And they rode in on that bandwagon. Southern Poverty Law Center has a lot of good work to do. And they need to get away from this identity politics, intersectional crap, whatever it is they're being led around by the news about. Okay, so he writes, among those who contacted us were human rights advocates affiliated with the United Nations who emphasized that Mr. Nawaz's work combating extremism is actually analogous to that of the SPLC over the years in the South. Indeed, one of the reasons Mr. Nawaz has said that he was so troubled by our listing was the fact that he has respected our work for many years. Although we may have our differences with some of the positions that Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam have taken, we recognize that they have made important contributions to efforts to promote pluralism and that they are most certainly not anti-Muslim extremists. Well, very gracious of them. As part of our settlement, we have paid $3-point-something million to Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam to fund their work to fight anti-Muslim bigotry and extremism. It was the right thing to do in light of our mistake, and the right thing to do in light of the growing prejudice against the Muslim community on both sides of the Atlantic. We will look to our insurance carrier to cover the cost of the settlement. Well, lucky you have the insurance carrier. But you know what? Instead of pissing away your wad of all the donations of the work, stuff that people gave to you to help out, you go and shit all over people like that are doing good work, like Maajid Nawaz. Think twice about it. Maybe you'll think twice about it next time. I don't know. I guess if your insurance carriers cover it, maybe you won't. In addition to apologizing to Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam, we offer our sincerest apology to our supporters and all those who depend on our work. Yeah, well, you just pissed away $3-point-something million to cover for your mistake. Kind of like the Catholic Church paying billions to cover up for the pedophile priests. And all the grab-ass politicians that the government pays to silence the grab-assed. We pride ourselves on the accuracy of our reports, and although we know we are not perfect, it pains us greatly whenever we make a mistake. I'm sure you're hurting. As we move forward, that's called progress, we are committed to redoubling our efforts to ensure that our work is always carried out with the utmost care and integrity. Unlike 2 years ago, the stakes in the battle against hate and extremism are simply too great to be satisfied with anything less. Nawaz was more blunt in his announcement of the apology. SPLC admits it was wrong, apologizes to Quilliam and Maajid Nawaz for its field guide to anti-Muslim extremists, agrees to pay 3 blah blah million settlement, join our... I don't fuck around, he says. Don't bleep around, sorry. He said more on his website. With the help of everyone who contributed to our litigation fund, we were able to fight back against the regressive left and show them that moderate Muslims will not be silenced, said Nawaz. We will continue to combat extremists by defying Muslim stereotypes, calling out fundamentalism in our own communities, and speaking out against anti-Muslim hate. Now, I want to say something here. It cost money on both sides to litigate this and to pay for SPLC's mistake. Instead of dealing with extremism in the Muslim community, the misguided at the SPLC decided it was in their best interest to piss away. How much was that? 3 point. Let me get that back up here. 3 point. Where is it? How much was it? Oh shit. Oh bleep. Sorry. $3.375 million. That's $3.33 million. Holy shit. So that's a king size mistake. That's a massive mistake. They listed Ayan Hersey Alley too, and I don't think they've apologized for that. She is a trying to get this chat thing here. Damn it. Ugh. She is a tireless... won't let me. Ayan Hersey Alley. Oh boy. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change the dimensions of the chat window so I can grab it. Oops, it just disappeared. Oh, there it's back again. Why won't it let me... Oh boy. Anyway, nobody's chatting anyway. Why won't it... Anyway, so if anyone's in there chatting, I can't see you. I don't know why this thing's screwing up on me here. Let me put this image back up. Okay, I bet you I can do it now. Damn it. There we go. All right. So, Yeah, wouldn't let me grab it and pull it up. This saga began in October of 2016 when the SPLC has published a list of people who routinely espouse a wide range of utter falsehood, all designed to make Muslims appear as bloodthirsty terrorists or people intent on undermining American constitutional freedoms. To the surprise of many atheists, the list included Ayaan Hirsi Ali and Nawaz. Hirsi Ali, of course, is the Somali-born activist who was a victim of faith-based genital mutilation herself. Her friend, director Theo Van Gogh, was murdered by a Muslim extremist who then stuck a knife in Van Gogh's body with a note that said Hirsi Ali was next. She has since written 2 memoirs and a book offering ways to reform the faith. She understands that there's a direct connection between a literal interpretation of the Quran and the terror we're seeing in parts of the world. She knows that a non-trivial percentage of believers feel that violence in the name of Islam is sometimes justified. Let me see, where is this? Okay, justified. Where was I? Holy crap. Okay. Her foundation works to end faith-based honor killings, worthy cause, and female genital mutilation, very worthy cause. That somehow made her the worst person ever in the eyes of the SPLC. Nawaz, too, wants to reform the faith. He published a book co-authored with Sam Harris called Islam and the Future of Tolerance. I read that, and it's pretty good. It's a short book. It's a quick read. It's not, it's not real deep. But it's really worth reading. They're discussing their differences, and the world's first I think they said here Maajid Nawaz was a former terrorist. I don't think he was a former. I think he was an Islamist. I don't think he was a former terrorist. And let's see. Frad says yes, but Ali herself supported jihadists in Syria. Did she? I don't remember reading about it. When was that? Frad? And which terrorists in Syria? Are you saying that Ayaan Hirsi Ali supported ISIS in Syria? Never heard of that. And if I'm wrong, then, then I'll admit it. Both of them believe, rightly I would say, that Islam is uniquely problematic compared to other religions, and moderate Muslims have a role to play in helping steer the ship in the right direction. Let's see. Frad says I saw some 2 years ago. You saw some what? I just never heard of it. Okay? So if she did support, if Ayaan Hirsi Ali supported jihadists in Syria, I never heard of it. And if she did, that's terrible. They may be critical of Islam, but they were never suggesting violence against Muslims as a solution. And that is true, unless they were doing it when I wasn't listening. The SPLC designation was problematic for other reasons. If criticizing religious beliefs made them extremists, then how long would it be before other vocal atheists ended up on that list too? There's a difference between being anti-Muslim and critical of the worst... Gotta move this up. The worst aspects of Islam, for goodness sakes. See that Hermit atheist, Hermit, whatever his name is on this website, he says, for goodness sake, not for God's sake, because he's an atheist, okay? For goodness sake, it's not like Nawaz and Hirsi Ali were attacking Malala Yousafzai. Huh, maybe they were. Let's see what this guy has to say. Frad. She supported revolution in general, not ISIS specifically. Or you mean she was against Assad? Is that what you mean? She was against Assad? Which I believe the United States was against Assad officially, right? Russia was supporting Assad. Let's move this up so we can read more. So why were they added to SPLC's list? For Hersey Alley, SPLC said this. Southern Poverty Law Center. I'm saying SPLC. For those of you who are just tuning in. Although she now positions herself as an ex-Muslim champion of women's rights, her anti-Muslim rhetoric is remarkably toxic. In 2007, she told Reason magazine that the West should defeat Islam and that we are war with Islam. I guess they mean we are at war with Islam. The same year she said that Islam was the new fascism and a destructive nihilistic cult of death. I don't agree. I didn't like all that Islamo-fascism stuff, but are they a destructive nihilistic cult of death? Is an ideology? Could it be? Yes, it could be. In an interview with the London Evening Standard in 2014, Brandeis University withdrew its offer of an honorary degree for her, saying they got their balls snipped. That's what they said. So let's see what... Oh, Brad says yes, correct. Okay, so she was against Bashir al-Assad, right? Is that his name? Took me a while to get his father's name right, all those years, and he died. Hafez al-Assad, and I think he's Bashir al-Assad or whatever the hell. Let me move this chat thing up. Oh, look at that. We got more here. I think she felt... She's saying, I think she felt for moderate rebels... She felt for moderate rebels narrative in line with us, with U.S. administration and media. You know, that whole thing when you're... Look, civil wars are complicated. And I don't think governments should get involved in civil wars. And I think that's kind of like a common sense thing that's appreciated around the world. Because which side are you on? Which side are you supporting, right? So when it's a civil war, it's an internal thing. Now, is there humanitarian things that people from the outside can get involved with? Yes, I agree with that. Sorry, I had to take a sip. Anyway, I'm gonna get off this SPLC thing because it's a long article. I got the point across. Maajid Nawaz got his apology, got millions of dollars for his organization, Quilliam, and that's a good thing. But to me, it's a lot of wasted energy, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted dollars, when they could have just used their brains from the beginning and not done something stupid like putting those two, Maajid and Ayan, on their dumb list. Okay. So we're gonna turn our attention to Iranian feminists on how Western liberals are making women's lives worse in her country, and there's a video. Let's see what this video says. I'll probably, you know what? It's probably gonna do a commercial. I'm gonna stop it. Oh, loading ad. Yep. No, we're not gonna do it. Jane Campion, not interested. Anyway, I'd like to take this time to... Let me put the image in here, because now it's me talking. I think a few people helped me out when this channel was down. Deconverted Man really went to bat. And I thank you for that. What a upstanding gentleman he is. And I appreciate his kindness, his helpfulness. That's Deconverted Man, so you don't forget who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Maajid Nawaz anymore. And he's definitely if you haven't checked his channel, he is a philosophical giant. He's a great mind. And he does, you know... He does the deep think stuff. I tackle subjects. He's into the deep thought stuff. Really deep. So let's get back. Sorry about that. I had to digress. I forgot that at the beginning of the chat here. So now what is she talking about here? Iranian feminists on how Western liberals are making women's lives worse in her country. I have not read this yet, but I bet you I know what it's about. Masa Alanyad has a blunt message for Western feminists trying to help our country's women. You're making it worse. No shit. I keep hearing in the West, especially Western feminists who go to my country, the female politicians, we don't want to break the country's law. How do you pronounce it? Alinejad said at the Raps Power Women Breakfast in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, noting that many well-intentioned foreigners choose to wear veils when traveling in Islamic-dominated countries like Iran. Women of Iran don't want to be slaves, she said. They don't want to be told by men or the law of the Islamic Republic of Iran what to wear. Too often, Alinejad, sounds like Mahmoudinejad or whatever that guy's name was. Alinejad said women seeking to be culturally sensitive in fact manage to exacerbate the problem. And I agree. In America, when I talk about compulsory hijab, I often get this question that, you know, this is a cultural issue. It's not, Alinejad said. Before the revolution, we had the right to choose what we wanted to wear in Iran. Compulsion was never part of Iranian culture. Well, it is now. In addition, Alinejad said some Western feminists, is that Alinejad or Alinejad? Said some Western feminists resisted legitimate criticism of the regime out of a desire not to appear in line with the policies of President Donald Trump. This, too, she said, was a mistake. Now, yes, they are doing that. If Trump is against some horrible Islamic laws or something, then people on the left are compelled to be against it because he's for it. I get that. But this is before Trump. Anyone criticizing Islam. No. Oh, you know what? The veil or the hijab is a symbol of empowerment for women. No, it's a symbol of their subjugation. Okay, because here in the West, you have the freedom in civilized countries, in North America, in Western Europe. You have that choice. In some countries, many countries, you don't have that choice. So the people that say wearing the hijab is empowering for women are morally bankrupt. They need their heads examined. That's what I say. All right, so let me get back to this. Alinejad, an activist and author of the new book, The Wind in My Hair, My Fight for Freedom in Modern Iran, has launched a social media campaign against the compulsory head covering, which has often put her on the wrong side of the nation's ruling clerics. I bet it has. But her prolific use of social media to connect women in the country has nevertheless made her a powerful force to be reckoned with. She currently lives in exile in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, I wonder why. Alinejad told attendees that she got much of her strength and wisdom from her mother. If you let fear win, then the darkness can devour you, she said her mother told her. I experienced a lot of darkness in my life. I got expelled from my high school because I had too many questions. I got expelled from Parliament again because I had too many questions. Michelle Flournoy, a former Undersecretary of Defense, also on the panel, shared her own story of being a woman in the Middle East. A lot of Western women who go to the Middle East think that they're being culturally respectful. That's what you're told. To put on a scarf, not a hijab necessarily, to cover your hair in some way. Flournoy said, I think there is a misunderstanding. I know there is a misunderstanding. When I would go to Saudi Arabia, I would not put on a hijab and I would not put on a scarf, she said, adding she was once told she was able to get away with it because she was an honorary man. Well, Lucky her. It was supposed to be a great compliment, said Flournoy. Wait a minute. They spell her name different. Okay, that's what screwed me up. They spelled it with all these extra O's early. You know, these people that write these articles need spell check or something. The Power Women Breakfast series brings together influential women of entertainment, media, technology, and blah, 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 blah. So I think the point of here... Oh, let me see. I see Amy Klobuchar. In addition to Klobuchar at the event. Okay. I think that's it for that. So I'm going to... There really wasn't much left in that article. And let's see. We got a comment here. True, I saw some pictures of the Tehran streets before Revolution. Pretty ordinary dressed women, even looking Western. Yeah, they were. And they had the freedom to do and look whatever they wanted. They weren't property of their husbands. So in the West, it's such a dangerous place because of the patriarchy. Women are, you know, harassed, and it's not free, and they can't vote, and they can't drive cars, and they can't go outside without wearing a big trash bag. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, they can. I'm thinking of Iran and Saudi Arabia. Okay, so it's such a horrible place because of the patriarchy and misogyny and all this stuff. But over there, they don't have these freedoms, and it's sad. It's really sad. Sorry, I'm pausing because it's just sad. So when we see women in Iran holding out, they're risking their very safety, and they're risking going to prison and being beaten up or tortured, harassed, or disappeared by taking their head covering off and waving it in public. It's been going on for months. We have people like Linda Sarsour saying that the hijab is empowering women, that Sharia law is just wonderful and all feministy and stuff. The Islam is the... what's that other woman in Australia says? Islam is the most feminist religion there is. Okay. The emperor has no clothes. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm back. And I did, while I was away, while I was in exile, Colonel Crappy did a video for me. And I'm going to later tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to post that Colonel Crappy's video done at the Disturbing Trends studio. I'm going to post it on my channel because on the channel in exile it got 4 views. It'll get a little bit more than 4 views on this channel. Not much more, but anyway, it was a pretty good video. Colonel Crappy did a good job there. We'll have to have him on as a guest sometime. And I'm going to be tuning out, getting hungry. Going to get me some food. And thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Fred, for your comments, participating. I'm going to look up what Ayaan Hirsi Ali did a couple years ago after I get off this, and see what position she took. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. So I'm going to say goodbye. And then it takes a few seconds for this to stop. Bye. Stop stream. I push stop stream.